This version of Barcelona did not appear by coincidence, and it certainly didn't arrive quietly. It was forged through frustration, shaped by months of criticism, and finally triggered by one painful moment. The defeat at the Bernabéu was supposed to expose the truth. Barcelona dropped into second place, 5 points behind Real Madrid, and once again, the familiar narrative returned. This club was no longer feared, no longer dominant, no longer inevitable. Externally, the noise was overwhelming. Pundits questioned the squad. Rivals mocked the style. Fans feared another false dawn. But internally, something far more important happened. That loss became a line in the sand. The players stopped hiding behind circumstances. Conversations in the dressing room became honest, even uncomfortable. Standards were no longer negotiable. What fascinates me most is how fast the emotional reset occurred. This wasn't a tactical overhaul overnight, it was a mental shift. You could see it in the body language, in the aggression without the ball, in the confidence to demand possession under pressure. Barcelona stopped playing with fear of mistakes and started playing with belief in their superiority. From that night on, matches no longer felt fragile. Even when moments went against them, the team stayed calm. This was the night Barcelona didn't just lose a game, they lost their doubts. This is the first video on the channel, and if you enjoy this kind of deep football storytelling and analysis, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Your support really helps the channel grow from day one. What followed that defeat wasn't a slow recovery. It was a statement. Barcelona didn't edge past opponents or rely on individual moments. They overwhelmed teams collectively. 3 goals in one match, 4 in the next. Clean sheets mixed with chaotic shootouts, all controlled by the same underlying dominance. Atletico Madrid were beaten with authority, not emotion. Betis were dragged into a wild game and still couldn't live with Barca's pace. Osasuna were suffocated through patience and positional control. Each match told the same story in a different language. Barcelona could now hurt you however they wanted. 8 consecutive league victories followed, 26 goals scored in 8 matches. Barcelona reclaimed the top spot in La Liga and opened a 4-point gap. But numbers alone don't explain what was happening. The football itself was sending a warning. Opponents tried pressing high and were sliced open. Others sat deep and were pulled apart slowly. For the first time in a long while, Barcelona dictated how matches were played. This is when fear truly returned. Pressing lines dropped deeper, stadiums grew quieter, rivals stopped talking. Barcelona weren't just winning, they were imposing themselves again. At the heart of everything stands Hansi Flick. When he arrived in late May 2024, Barcelona were not tactically broken, they were mentally exhausted. Financial restrictions limited transfers. The squad carried scars from past disappointments. Expectations were cautious, even defensive. Flick didn't arrive promising miracles. He arrived with standards. His philosophy was simple but uncompromising. Trust la magia, raise physical intensity, and restore discipline at every level. Reputation meant nothing. Effort meant everything. Arrive late, you don't play. Skip pressing, you come off. Training sessions became sharper and more demanding. Pressing stopped being optional and became collective. The defensive line pushed higher, transitions became faster. Attacking was mandatory, regardless of the scoreline. Even with a disrupted preseason due to international tournaments and early injuries, Flick's identity was visible immediately. Barcelona finally looked physically prepared to dominate matches again. Not just elegant on the ball, but aggressive without it. This wasn't nostalgia. It was modernization. Flick's first season quickly crossed from promising into historic. 3 trophies arrived in a single campaign. La Liga secured in 2025. The Copa del Rey won through courage and relentless pressure. The Spanish Super Cup lifted after dismantling Real Madrid in emphatic fashion. Yet, trophies alone don't capture the scale of the transformation. The true miracle was the reinvention of individuals. Lewandowski, dismissed by many as finished, scored 42 goals and rediscovered his killer instinct. Pedri returned to his elite tempo and intelligence, controlling games rather than surviving them. Frenkie de Jong regained authority and rhythm. Then came Raphinha's evolution. Under Flick, he stopped being just a winger. He became a leader, a reference point, a constant threat. 34 goals, 26 assists, relentless pressing and verticality. Alongside him, Lamine Yamal emerged without fear, playing with maturity far beyond his age and finishing the season as a Ballon d'Or finalist. By the end of that campaign, the football world wasn't celebrating Barcelona's return. It was asking a dangerous question: can this team still get better? The following season was designed to test everything Flick had built. Injuries arrived relentlessly. Key players missed extended stretches. Performances dipped. Another Clásico defeat reopened old wounds. Critics returned quickly, claiming the project had peaked and the magic was fading. But this Barcelona had learned something crucial: how to survive adversity. Flick adapted. Roles were adjusted. Structures were simplified. Control replaced chaos. And once again, results followed. December became flawless. 7 consecutive victories, 5 of them in La Liga. Barcelona entered the winter break as winter champions, 4 points clear at the top. Compared to the same stage the previous season, that meant 14 more points, more goals scored, and fewer conceded. What impressed most was the home form: 9 home league matches, 9 wins. Even while playing across multiple stadiums, Barcelona imposed themselves every single time. That level of consistency doesn't come from form. It comes from identity. Defensive stability finally arrived when Flick committed to continuity. A fixed back four created chemistry and confidence. Pau Cubarsí emerged as the cornerstone of the future. Only 18 years old, yet already composed, tactically intelligent, and fearless against elite attackers. Joan García became the silent constant, playing every official match, adapting across multiple positions, and providing balance wherever needed. In goal, Joan García transformed the entire system. With him, Barcelona concede fewer goals, recover more balls, and build attacks with calm authority. And then there's the attack. Barcelona remain obsessed with scoring. They are the only team in Europe's top 5 leagues with 4 players scoring at least 5 league goals. Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, Lewandowski, and Rashford give this team endless solutions, all conducted by Pedri's intelligence. By the end of 2025, Barcelona had scored 169 goals in 60 matches, the most in club history without Messi. This is not a temporary rise. It is a project with identity, ambition, and a frightening ceiling. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to be part of the channel from the very beginning, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. A lot more high-level football content is coming next.